You are starting to see cases where people are coming forward and saying, I saw improper treatment of ballots, or observers weren't allowed close enough to the count. So in every election like of this nationwide, there are going to probably be cases here and there. The problem is that you don't have any proof of something systematic, something with large enough numbers that would make a difference here where Joe Biden has won tens of thousands of votes. My advice to the president would be, look, you have the right. Make sure all the votes are counted correctly. Ask for recounts. It's actually good for everybody to have confidence in the vote total. But at the same time, I would say start allowing a transition to occur. Even if you think the election didn't go your way, even if you think the states were unfair to you, still the constitutional process is going to start moving forward towards a January 20th inauguration. And it would be good for the country and good for President Trump too, to start the transition process so that Joe Biden can get the country going as soon as he takes over in about a month and a half.
Indeed, though, but in a way, the president has been actively undermining the integrity of the election by calling for recounts across these states. And I think the other important thing to point out here, and a question to you, in the absence of any credible evidence of voter fraud, at what point does the president need to concede this election, something that he has not done yet?
This is an interesting thing. He may never concede. He doesn't have to concede. The thing about the American Constitution is that it doesn't actually require the sitting president to do anything one way or the other. On January 20th, Donald Trump's term ends and Joe Biden's, I believe, will begin. The president doesn't have to do anything. He can't interfere with that, if you think about it. It's really the states sending the electoral votes in to Washington, D.C. that trigger everything happening. So I think the states are going to move forward. They all have their different deadlines. They're all generally at the end of November when they are going to certify their votes. That starts the process to picking the electors, and they're going to meet in December and send their votes to Washington. I think if President Trump has any hope of showing some kind of fraud significant enough to change the outcome in 3 states simultaneously, it's going to have to be in about a week and a half and 2 weeks. And that's a really, like I said, a really real Hail Mary pass when you're back on your 5-yard line and you're trying to score a touchdown.
How is the president then removed from the White House if he fails to concede, if he digs in and does not believe the election result?
It's interesting. It's a very good question. So what happens in the beginning of January, the Congress gathers together, the vice president opens up the electoral votes, and the winner becomes president on January 20th at noon. And the current president, just whoever it is, their term is over on January 20th, right before noon. And yeah, he could say, I'm not leaving. He could say, I'm not conceding. But at that time at noon on January 20th, he's no longer the president. And all of the allegiance of the government, of the military, of all the civil servants switches to the winner of the November 3rd election, who I think is going to be Joe Biden. And then he will just become the president, and Donald Trump will become a private citizen, regardless of anything Donald Trump does.